How weird. I was eating a pizza. Next thing I know, I'm on panel with Jeff H. How the
That's
hell did
weird.
that happen? How
It's a
did that
magic.
happen?
It's a magical pizza.
That is strange, my friend. How are you doing?
Good, good. Yeah, they say genies come out of like a genie lamp, but maybe it's just like 3 bites into a pizza, and then here I am.
I know. I was like, what? How the hell am I on stage? No, you and I were having an offline conversation that I thought would be interesting to be sharing on here for some reason. I don't know. You want to talk
Yeah,
about it a little bit?
yeah. You never know. We were just talking about the photo of the group that I think Kaylee had posted. I think with something along the lines of so blessed to be surrounded by these people every day.
Right.
And we were trying to determine where that photo was taken,
Yeah.
and I think we had a differing opinion on it, and I'm not even sure if what I'm thinking is correct. It's something that I thought I'd figured out a while ago, and then now I'm kind of um, questioning it at all. But I always thought that it was on one of the maybe like the second level of the Taylor Road apartment complex. It's right there by where the police officers had looked at that jacket by the fire hydrant.
See, I didn't
Um,
ever think it was that far away. I mean, and that's what makes it so intriguing is that we can have two different point of views.
yeah, we're gonna figure it out though,
I'm looking
because I
for
think
I know I have an overhead shot of the whole area that
yeah.
has um all those streets.
Well, I've got this that I just found. I'm trying to, as we're talking, I'm just kind of throwing a bunch of stuff into a folder. I'm just throwing copies of photos that might
All right.
be good photos to show and talk about because I just don't have these photos organized enough to say like for to be searchable. Some of them are, but um, all right.
Okay.
Here I did find a good copy of that.
Okay, I'll put yours up here in a second. Okay, because I found a photo that I want to show you right quick.
Okay,
All right. Me first, me first.
I like that. I like that expression. Right, quick too.
We're always right quick, aren't we? 3 hours later. Okay, let me zoom in here. Do you see this area right here? This is where I was thinking that shot had where they took the picture right here.
Right.
And this is the 1112 house, and this is the other house where I told you um, that I suggested that Xana and Maddie were in front of those windows. We'll go with that picture right quick, and then I'll go ahead and put yours up. Okay, yeah, yours is a lot more detailed there. Can you
Yeah. Let
zoom
me.
in?
I can. Yeah. Yeah. Let me zoom over into that area. Yes, you can see the thing is that the doorway is the roof that would be above your head if you're standing in this lower level by that door. The roof is way above you, which makes me think that the photo. Also, too. Wait, I've got the photo. Here's the big photo we're talking about with the group.
Okay, well, I want you to keep in mind there's the steps and there's the two windows that we're going to reference, okay? So go ahead and put that photo up there.
And the reason I'm putting these in a folder is so that if we have a couple that we like, I can open them together at the same time. That way, I don't have to take them down and put them back up. Um, Here's the reason. Even looking at this again now, I'm even more convinced that I'm right. Um,
Oh my
if you take
goodness.
if you take a look at this picture, See this area right here? You can see these stairs that I think are going up to the third floor. This is see the railing here. There's stairs outside on the right. So I think they're on the second floor. These are stairs that go up to the third floor. And I think even it's really hard to really see anything off to the far right. But I think if you could, you'd you'd start to see, like Taylor Road out here. This right here, this could be the little roof of that water. There's like a little building, a little tiny building that I think is, I don't know if it's like a water treatment building, and it's right there at King and Taylor. And I think that we could compare like the top of that roof.
I mean,
Um,
the only reason that I didn't believe that that was the area is the color of the building. You know what I mean? Like, that's obviously a wooden awning up above them, right?
yeah, and that's it's
Wouldn't wouldn't
a little
that,
confusing.
yeah, wouldn't that Taylor Road it'd be all concrete and metal. And that's the only reason I thought that this would possibly be that area. I see your point. I really do. I
Let me
just
see if
wish
I
there
can
was
find.
more definitive way to be able to tell.
Yeah, I've got so many photos, and I don't think like I unfortunately can't like search by the word Taylor. Tell you what though, once I find a good photo, I'm putting the word Taylor in it. Um, but let's do this. Let's
Can you
go to
go to map?
Street View on Google, and then see if we can't see that little building that I was talking about. Because if it's got a similar roof, that's a start anyway. I can type better. Okay, 1122 King. Okay, I'm gonna put my little guy.
I mean, the thing about it
Ah,
is
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
could be that place or some those areas, all those houses and buildings look so much alike, like they're just thrown up so easily. You know what I mean? Like they don't have a lot of material on their homes.
So now take a look at this roof.
Can you
See
see
right
a
here off to the right?
can you see
Just
a
kind of
reflection?
memorize what that roof looks like. And then, okay, let me present as share screen. Okay, and then do you see this? Okay, so I'm sharing with you the
All right.
Google Maps. So it's this roof here that I'm thinking we're seeing in the background of that shot. So which would mean that you should be able to see like the second level. I got a little bit of trees, but basically what I'm proposing is that the second level, I'm thinking like
Let
right around
let's say
here.
let's say if we agree on the color. We agree that looked like a grayish tone. And how about the cylinders? Were they that far apart?
Yeah, let
And
me okay, let me go back to
how
the
how come we didn't see any doors next to those windows?
okay, let's see. You know what? I can do it this way. Let me take a snapshot of this,
Okay.
and then I can bring up the two pictures at the same time, or should be able to take my screenshots with
Because
oops.
if your theory is true, then they would have been on the top floor because that's the widest of the angles. Because
Well, but
look how
there's only
little.
stairs going upward. The stairs going upward have to go to an above floor. Um,
I
okay, let me
mean, we would
copy
have
this.
seen cars if they were on the first floor. The second floor, the little openings look really short. The top floor, that would make sense. I mean, you could see the very top of the stairs.
Okay, so
I
now
mean,
I should be able to
I'm,
share.
I'm not doubting you, Jeff. I'm just saying that, I'm trying to make it make sense for myself.
Right, I understand too, and I'm sorry, I can't, I'm one of those types that it's hard for me to converse and listen as I'm clicking. So but I am hearing you. I
Right.
am hearing what you're saying.
See,
So
I could see where you see the stairs. I never really noticed those stairs before. I saw stairs before, but I never really noticed the window shape or the little piece of
yeah,
wood, you know,
yeah, and
roof.
there's these columns and outside.
Yeah,
So let's look just prior to the stairs going up to the third floor. You've got two columns right here. So if I click over to this, oops, um, see,
yeah,
there's
that could
one, two columns. That would put them, so they're just in front of the second column, which puts them next to a window, right? This
yeah,
second column is directly across from a window. And we go one column, two columns, put them a little bit in front of it. Is it that window then that they would be in front of? Because these are doors right here.
right. And we don't see those doors in the picture.
Right.
See,
This,
Maddie's covering one up. So, I mean, I'm down with that if that's what you believe it was taken. I mean, at first I thought it might have been taken, you know, right under the patio right there, but there's not any concrete all the way back.
the other thing
So,
that's a little confusing, but it doesn't disprove it, is see up here, the ceiling is finished on the third floor.
yeah.
But you can't really see this second level, although it does look kind of rough, like the wood is here. Maybe they were, maybe they were thinking about doing it and they just left it unfinished. But you can see it's definitely
Can you
unfinished
can
above
you
their
zoom in
heads.
on can you zoom in on that corner by the stairs?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you can see right above the or over there by the Mustang, like right above it.
Uh-oh. Mustang. Are we on to a
Oh
new
no.
topic?
Hey, maybe that was their friend that picked him up from there, you know? It does look like older wood under there.
Yeah, see, I think maybe it's unfinished under here. It's hard to tell looking at
Would
this.
but would you see I don't know, that's just wild. Where else could it be though? I mean, they probably know people everywhere, you know, so it's very hard to
And I mean, is
really
there a possibility? I mean, I just always assumed it's here. Let's go back to Google Maps and just kind of get a sense of. Oh, did I close that? I should have left it open. I took a still picture of it and then I closed it. I can be there in 2 seconds. Boom. Okay, stop that. Share this. Okay. So I'm just trying to get a sense if we would see this little roof, through is it? It would have to be like they're being the photos here in this area. Would it be able to be? They're on the second floor, so they're going to be a little taller than some of the trees. And then would you catch a little piece of that roof in
I
there?
would believe that you'd probably see the water tower.
Well, see, the camera's kind of pointing like almost like straight down the area where they're standing. It's not like out towards the right to catch the street. It just happens to be on the very edge of the photo, catching some of
How
this,
about
I
if
think.
wouldn't it make more sense to be the closest roof? It would be that building right there, that one level. See,
No,
that
I only think in that you can see the lines of the roof in this, going
okay.
that direction. Now, this building over here, I do believe that one of these lights is the light that caught, when those four people walk through going past here. That's the thing too. Those four people that a lot of people say, oh, they're running past here and they're probably covered in blood. And these Banfield officers over here are just say whatever, or they're covering for them, right? But here's the thing. I mean, they're running like right through here,
Right.
right? Doesn't that mean they could come from here? They could come from here. They could come from a car parked over here. They come from this building over here. I just don't. I don't understand when it's talked about. It's like, oh my gosh, they are definitely running from the murder house because you can hear one of them say, "Where did we just come from, guys? Murder house." No, you don't hear that.
Right.
So
I mean, if we're gonna go with logic, and we saw those kids on Banfield getting stopped, 4 of them were coming from Matt's house, right? And then Saeed was coming from somewhere, and then those other 4 or 5 that were walking by that light, were they coming from Matt's house or another party somewhere else?
yeah, I don't know. Is the jacket still there? No.
That was Maddie's jacket.
You know me. I go to Goodwill a lot. There are a lot of jackets that look like that. It could
No.
be anybody's jacket. But I think it's a light. Like looking at the video, I think it was like maybe this light is the bright light or somewhere in this area it was coming from. It wasn't on the corner of that. There was a light here, but it wasn't. They didn't run through that light. They basically it's like they were causing an eclipse. They went through here, blocking the bright light that was here, shining this way onto the officers here.
So let's debunk this. Where are we going to say that that shot was taken for ourselves, not anybody else, just for Jeff and I to feel okay about it? I mean, I'm pretty open minded until we are able to find another house that looks kind of like what we're looking for. I'm willing to compromise and go with Jeff's theory there.
Yeah, I mean the main thing that I think is strong is that these columns are spaced the same. They look about the same. The window is in the position you'd think it would be. Is this the same building I'm looking at?
What do the windows have the same kind of trim, like the thickness of the trim? You
Well, let's
see
see.
how
Yeah,
those
it looks
things
like
have
if
the
it's.
funnel?
Yeah, I'm guessing if it's a sliding, this one seems thicker. Like, is it the right pane here that slides
Yeah.
over to the left? Let's
It
take a
seems
look
like
at
a
that.
lot of windows in that area have that slider for some reason.
Let me pull that picture up again. This
We
one.
got a couple of pictures we're going to try to discuss, ladies and gents.
Yeah, see, here you go. This has a thicker sorry, Kaylee, didn't mean to give you a square.
So what kind of light is that in the background between right under Maddie's elbow? You see it?
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks kind of roundish. But look at the window here. See how this has got the thicker inset? The at least from
Yeah.
the other photo from outside looked like this would
I
slide over
mean,
this one.
it makes a lot of sense. It really does. I mean, look at the light. Can you zoom in on that light right there that's on the 3rd floor?
Yeah, I would imagine it's a similar. So
It
where
looks
does
like
that put the light? If they're standing second column by this window, how far back is that light? That light doesn't look very far back. Is there a door?
so either that door is before them or after them. Because there's
Now
other
what?
photos where Maddie's not on her shoulders and they're just standing there. You can see everything behind them
Oh, right. Yeah, I should
because
have all
they're
those
not
photos
very
up.
tall. Because they're not very tall.
Also, what is this? There's this dark area there. What would that dark area be? So it's about by the first column, by the near the steps. Um,
Yeah,
sure what that would be.
that looks about the right place. That right placement.
And see, they've got, you got the two columns, and then you've got pretty much this solid wall here, right?
Right. Right. And you can see
Which
that in the
seems like
background.
it's that.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're the closest to the staircase. So it'd be 1, 2, and then so it'd be 1, 2, 3, the third column from the staircase. So go back to the thing, the front view.
Oh, so you're counting the one connected to the wall,
Yeah,
and then
1,
2,
2, and
3.
3. So it'd be 1,
So
2.
this is what you call this 1, 2, then 3.
Yeah, that makes sense because the door's not in the shot. So they're like right neck in between those two windows. Perfect.
And now some people might look at this and say, well, this column that we're talking about that's standing near isn't looks like it's lined up with the door. Let's go back to Google Earth or Google Maps. Dang, did I close it again?
Damn it, man.
Okay, I got to learn to just keep that open. Oh, no, I didn't close it. It's in a different window. Here we go. I just moved it off of my.
Open the window, man.
Here it comes. Here we go. Okay, so to get some bearing, okay, let's make sure. Yeah, that is the building that we're talking about. It's this one right here.
Right.
Let me zoom back. I just want to make sure I didn't go as far as the second building. Second building is over here. So first building, when you're looking kind of directly at the columns, so this was what we were calling the first column, second column, third, and you can see, well, then when you're lined up with it, it is kind of like the door.
But whoever took the
Oh, here's
photo,
the round light.
whoever
Yeah.
took the photo made sure they didn't show the door.
1, 2, 3. Maybe could it be by this one? This one right here makes more sense with the position of the window and where they were. But let's count those columns again. I'm pretty sure we were correct with it being the third.
This is Mythbusters on 12 Gauge Investigative. Hope you're enjoying the show.
Well, I guess it's, what might be difficult to tell is just how far back this column is from them. Okay, I'm sharing this photo, back to the original photo. But I mean, maybe the third.
Now you have me convinced that it is the second story.
Yeah, the other thing that tells me is when you look to the far right, you've got this
That doorway,
diagonal
that door, it
handrail.
looks like that. Hey, it looks like that door would be right even. The doorway awning or the doorway, little part that protrudes before the door.
Uh-huh.
Look at Maddie's elbow and go straight down. You see that little extension out there that would possibly be a doorway. You see her elbow, where her elbow is, or
Yeah,
Ethan's shoulder, right there, in between Maddie's
this
elbow
here.
and Ethan's shoulder. That looks like it would be like an entranceway to a door.
Or is this right here the end of this window? You could probably tell if we could find the other
I don't
photos.
believe so. I don't believe so because then it'd have that all the way around. There wouldn't just
Because
be
this looks
one.
like a door here to the right of that light. And then the beginning of the next window right here. So I'm thinking window, door, window that's connected, in perspective, this. So in perspective, this angle of this line following it across, coming down. I think. I don't know if this part of the window here is this little part right behind her.
It's hard to tell
Catch.
because the picture it's taken at an angle too. Like it's not straight on.
Yeah.
It looks straight on, but it's a little off to the right. You get what I'm saying?
You know, it's kind of at a wide angle. I mean, I know Kaylee is short, but I mean, you can see it looks like it scrunches her down even more than what's
Yeah.
natural.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll go.
this
I'll go
railing
with
over
that.
here.
I'll go with that.
So the things that do it for me are this railing right here. It's like the railing coming up from the first floor to the second. This railing over here that's going from the second floor up to the third, and then that rooftop in the distance. Let me go even bigger. This rooftop where you can see the lines of the roof diagonally, and you can see the rooftop. You know, I mean, it's just sitting at the correct angle for
Oh
where it ought to
yeah.
be.
Yeah, I didn't see the lines before, but I see them now. Yeah,
What is
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
now
We're not doing
finding?
we're not doing confirmation bias right now. We're really, I mean, I do see what he's talking about. He's not influencing my decision in any way. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm not easily persuaded.
And my position on it is that I'm just as excited to be right as I am wrong. Because if you teach me something new, I mean, like Tom Van, you know, things that he said. There's another guy, Riddler. Riddler made a comment like, "Well, it sounds like he's saying, the what did you say to Adam? Sounds like he could be saying you're going to ditch those guys when you're
Maddie.
inside." Um, I was always hearing you're going to ditch those guys and you're inside, but it'll be nice if there's a way to know some of the things that we have questions about. It sure can drive you crazy to not know, think you know, pretty sure you know,
Right. So you
but
want to
I
pull
have
up
no
that
problem with
picture?
being completely wrong.
You want to pull up that picture of Maddie and Dana standing in front of in front of those windows? I don't think
Yeah,
I have.
let me show you this too, just while I'm here, because like I said, I'm just going through my pictures and trying to copy them over into a folder. This one right here, this is just brief. But this tells me now. I know this isn't the kitchen window or the kitchen sliding glass door, but do you see the little white lever on the sliding glass door for Maddie's room? Um, it is in the correct position to if the lock is correctly installed. Remember, I was
Yes.
concerned that it was just like mine because this would have been when mine was backwards, pointing up like that would have been locked, which is backwards. And when it's installed backwards, all you do is you lift the door up and it comes right off the lock and it slides right open for you. This looks correct. So I'm assuming the one downstairs in the kitchen is probably also correct. So
Okay.
I don't think it was a situation where it's an improperly installed lock. That's how he got in so easy. But without being there, without even, I mean, look, you can look at the lock from the outside of the house and you know whether it's locked or unlocked. I think that's one thing kind of unique about the sliding glass door. Can't say that about the front door knob.
Right. See, I always thought that possibly they took that picture under that balcony right here, but there's not any um what do we call them? Those columns. There's none of those, so that kind of gives me a little bit of a perspective.
Right.
Yeah. So very good. Very good. Have you
Let's
found that
see.
other picture?
No, I'm looking. Um, if it doesn't come up, there's so many pictures that are kind of grouped together that, even if I don't find the one I'm looking for, I'm bound to run into something that I think will be interesting to talk about anyway. Um, it's unfortunately it's mixed in with a lot of other. I'm just searching the entire drive that I
So
moved all my Moscow
you and
stuff
I
onto.
had this. You and I, without making this a 3 hour live on this one topic, we had discussed the coat on the fire hydrant, right?
Uh-huh.
So based on evidentiary, and that's it. Based on it being evidence based, do you see any other reason that they didn't grab that coat other than they didn't figure it was viable to the investigation?
I mean, is there a certain point where you say, okay, this looks like something similar to the crime, but it's 4 blocks away? You know, that's an extreme. Okay, 2 blocks away, 1 block away. At what point do you say, you know? But the thing is, I can't speak for the officers. I don't know if this thing smelled like it's been there for months. Because if it had, then it's probably unlikely to be Maddie's, the one that Maddie's wearing in the videos we see.
Right.
Um, so I don't know what criteria they used to say this isn't this this isn't the droids we're looking for.
Well,
Um,
another thing, Jeff, that I've heard other creators talk about, I believe they're confused when they think that hydrant, the location of it, because I've heard them talk about being on the corner of the house,
they
not
think it's closer to the house than it actually is.
right. They believe, I believe that whenever I first heard about it, that black jacket or that black coat being found on the hydrant.
Which is
I
probably why they think those people running past, through the light while the Banfield officers are talking with those 3 guys.
right.
That's probably why they think those people are definitely coming from the house because they think it's on the same block, but it's a whole block away.
Yeah, that fire hydrant is not in front of the house. It is a block away on Taylor. See, I found a
Um,
shot. Let me take this down for a second. It's not a very good one, but I found this shot, and I'm going to go with your theory, even though I thought this would possibly show me some vindication here.
uh-huh.
I thought it was this right here. This is where they took the picture. See this
Right.
house right? I
And I can
thought,
see why you would think that. Especially from like that distance away from it, if you feel like the bottom of that fencing or railing, the white railing, if you
yeah,
thought that was the bottom, that's where their feet would stand. But when you
yeah,
look at it and you see that it's really sunk in another, what, maybe, you know, maybe
yeah.
like
That
three
makes a
feet
lot.
down, 4 feet
It
down.
makes a lot more sense now. I remember there being a theory where Jack D was talking about how he used to take this path right here in between this fence to get to
Uh-huh.
his house. This is how he used to go to the house, right? Through this little area,
Hmm.
these two fences. Supposedly, this was where Dot was that morning, the next morning. And this
Hmm.
is where Hunter, to not confuse people, this is where the girl called and said her car had been broken into, stuff had been
Right.
rearranged, the panties were in the cup holder. And this long one right here is where Hunter and Emily supposedly lived together.
Hmm.
So everything's in 1112 is like right next to this house.
Yeah, that's they knew each other, all the neighbors there, and that's why it doesn't surprise me too. Like that this notion that Kaylee's sister would have gotten a hold of the light bulb camera,
Of course.
because we've seen pictures of we, isn't that there's a picture of Xana with like a beer bong or something on the front, standing on that right where that light bulb camera is. So obviously they knew the people there at that house or had been in that house. Here's another picture I just shared with you.
Okay.
Um, Not quite the same angle or anything as the picture we were trying to figure out where the photo was taken from, but it just shows you. I think this is probably up on the third level um, of
Well,
Taylor Road apartments.
before I
Hmm.
take this down, have you ever heard any controversy about this tree stump?
I've heard people talk about it. Yeah,
tell
like what is a tree stump
tell
doing
me,
there?
yeah, tell me what you've heard.
Yeah, isn't that where you? No, I shouldn't even joke. I was going to say you tap on it 3 times with the butt end of a K-bar knife, and the tunnel opens up. Or no, I'm just kidding. Just joking. I did hear Kane going on and on about that's impossible a tree stump to be there, but and he at the time he wasn't convinced it was a tree stump, and then I had found like 5 or 6 photos and I sent them to him. I said, sure looks like a tree stump. I mean, I think it's
Kane,
something that a tree used to be there and it was probably in a very precarious place because it's right on that
yeah,
hill. I mean, all that the ground's just got to get a little bit wet and damp, and then that tree's falling over onto those houses we're looking at. So I
exactly.
think they chopped it off. I think, hey, it's a sorority here. They probably love to have another little table out here to put drinks on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but yeah, so here's I think this is the third floor probably. I mean, I didn't really look at Google again to see, but I think that's um, you know what I'm saying? I think that's the
Yeah.
Watch, I'm gonna peek at Google. Yeah, yeah. If you look at Google,
I mean, so obviously they knew people. It only makes sense. Your friends live in these apartments. They're probably freshmen, sophomores. They can't live off campus yet, or at least freshmen, right? So you're going over there. You're their littles, or they're your littles, or whatever they call those things, and you're hanging out with them. You're taking photos. It's innocent,
yeah, yeah.
you know. What amazes me is we could right now in this picture, we could make up so many conspiracies. Because look at that white truck down there by the dumpster. That's
Hmm.
that white truck that been stalking them. That's the one that pulled in while they were walking by that camera downtown.
Or it could be light green,
Right.
depending on the
That
camera you're looking at.
railing is not really white. It's purple.
Right.
I mean, they obviously had a lot of fun with the camera, and there's nothing wrong with that. I dislike when people try to paint them in an image that nobody would want to be painted in. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Without proof of it, it just I don't know.
Right.
Without the proof, why are you going to throw somebody that's deceased under the bus? I just don't. I don't get it.
Like,
Actually, here's
why wouldn't you want to get dressed up if you were going out that night? I know a lot of people that do that. You know?
here's let me show you. I got the so this I believe is the third floor, which is right here. Looks very much like it's just at the corner. The background is looks correct. The railing looks correct.
I
So,
mean,
which
that's
makes me wonder,
a lot.
maybe they knew people on the second level and on the third level.
Yeah. And I'm sure they knew a lot of people,
Yeah.
and a lot of people knew them. But to say that nobody knew what happened, I mean, I'm sure by this point somebody knows what happened. They're just
It's
not
really
going to
interesting
talk.
though is that, I mean, I guess it's human nature to you have a notion in your head of what you believe happened, and maybe it's hard to even turn it off so that as you're looking at stuff, you're looking to investigate stuff, you're basically looking to prove what you believe, and you can't help it to a point. But I mean, look at this. Uh, Tell me that there aren't some other creators out here that would have, if they were with us talking right now, looking at these same photos, they would have seen probably 7 or 8 things that would have explained how that happened, and the people that you see in the pictures are involved, and it's just you know I
Yeah,
don't
I
know,
mean,
so it's hard. I'm finding myself like trying not to call it like crazy because it just sounds like, oh, you're only calling it crazy because it's different from your beliefs or your findings or your conclusions, but sometimes I just think it's a and I might even respect it a little more if it was prefaced with, now this might sound crazy, but it's something that came to my mind. Let's talk about it. And then, of course, people, if they felt they could openly talk about it without getting attacked by the chat, blocked by the creator, they might share what they really thought. But I think a lot of times people aren't going to share what they really think. They're going to be as quiet as people in Moscow are on the case.
Man, that's a whole lot of fear right there, Jeff. That's a
There's a whole lot of what?
Whole lot of fear to not be
Yeah,
able to state what you want to state because somebody might not like it. I mean, come on.
right.
That's that's abuse. That's
Yeah.
holding you hostage.
And then what kind of fears do you have? It's like, okay, where there's the fear of the being the person in the chat. Like when I first started, I was in Dago's chat. I would love to be in Dago's shows and everybody's trying to figure things out and we're working together. It seemed more friendly back then. And then once it started getting nasty and everybody had their strong opinions on things and they were really nasty towards anybody with a different opinion. It was a different thing. But there's the fear of the person in the chat to say something wrong, to get blocked or booted. Um, and then yeah, the fear of the creator. They don't want to lose subscribers. Um,
I mean, that's the thing. What would cause somebody to make it so volatile that there's fear involved on something that all you're doing is talking about?
right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
people like to be right. Nobody likes to be wrong. Um, and I think there's a little bit of like a keyboard warrior, almost like road rage, where you feel kind of like emboldened to say things you probably wouldn't say to these people's faces. Like you're behind your keyboard, so you decide, you know what? I'm going to say what I'm thinking. That was stupid what you just said, or you're an idiot, or what the heck's wrong with you? Or like, are you a Fed? You must be like, you must be Chief Fry's buddy or something. Something just, all kinds of things come to mind. Um, I was in a chat last night and everybody was going at me. It's like it's been a while since I've had people go at me like that. Heather was even in there and wasn't even being, you know. Usually Heather says, Jeff knows I'm just kidding, and it's like I was feeling like, wow, I think I'm even lost a little bit of Heather. But I was just asking questions about the 3 DNA found in the house. They were discussing it, and they were talking about the document. See, now there was misunderstanding, and that now I understand, and I'm glad I don't go off on people because I think in the end it was all a result of a misunderstanding. They were talking about a document, I think, of Ann Taylor's that mentioned close proximity of these DNAs to the victims. I thought they were talking about a quote from Jay Logsdon that said there were just 3 DNA found in the same house where the victims were, which the point I was just simply asking questions about was like, it doesn't sound like for sure that it's saying the DNAs are near the victims. It's just sounding like it could be anywhere in the house. I said that these kind of things drive me crazy. When you can read something and understand it in more than one way. Turns out in the end, they were talking about a document of Ann Taylor's, and Heather sent me a link to it. I looked at it. I'm not even sure I was Googling through the document trying to find the exact statement they were referring to. That's the other thing too. And I'm talking about something, even if somebody I disagree with, I'm going to help you see that. I'll point you right to the exact phrase. I'll say it's on page 6. It's at the bottom. Do you see it? You see it, right? But they were like, just send them the link. It's like, here's the link. Go, it's like, dang. It's like,
But in reality, you have, you get used to being in certain chats where your opinion is neither confrontated, it just accepted as we agree to disagree, right?
yeah,
Not everybody get that luxury in other chats. It's almost like if you don't stand up for yourself, you're gonna get ran over. Or you gotta
right.
talk a certain way in order to feel comfortable to be in this chat. You know what I mean? Like it shouldn't
But
be
I,
that way, but it is. I mean, I get what you're saying. I really do.
and I hope that I'm pretty good still. I hope I always try to be. kind with my words, not too. I mean, I know I will get snarky because I mean, I can tell when people are, being really rude. They're never going to get back the same level of rude that they've given me. I don't feel a need to ever go to the same level. But it's interesting. I told Kathy about it when I went to bed. She's like, "What were you doing?" It's like, "Oh, I was in the YouTube, and man, they let me have it tonight." She's like, "Why do you do that? Why do you take that abuse?" And I said, "You know what?" I said, "It's okay," because I said, oftentimes what happens is the next day, 2 days from now, somebody that was in that chat will say, "Hey, man, I was there, and they were rough on you, and I'm sorry, I agreed with you." And that's all I need. That really is a nice thing to have happen. And wouldn't you know it, it happened today. I was in I forgot the name, Above and Beyond's chat room, and there was somebody in there that said, "I was in that chat last night, man. They were ruthless." And so it's nice. I mean, I don't. I mean, as much as the human nature says, "Man, just let them have it. Just say what you want to say," because they're really being rude as hell to you. That's like, no, no. The rewards of not going there are greater than the regret of going there and saying things that you regret.
Well,
You know.
I wish I could be at that level, but I go with fire, fight fire with fire. You know what I mean? And my fire's gonna burn a whole lot brighter than yours.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Well, you
mean,
also come
sometimes,
you also come with some education and experience in matters of the. I'm just a what am I? I'm just a photographer, videographer that has some opinions on. I don't have an education in any of this or
but
working with
exactly.
any.
But look at this though. There's people on here that they haven't, they have never put their credentials out there. They've never said they used to do this or they do that for a living or anything. But people trust them as their word is law. I've seen many in chats asking questions to these individuals. So, Mrs. So and so, or Mr. So and so, or this person, what do you think on this? Do you think this happened? Do you think that happened? I mean, at the
Right,
end, it doesn't matter what I think. What happened, happened. And I believe that a lot of times individuals don't really view it as being as violent as it was.
but the
And
crime itself.
that's why it's so easy to talk about day in, day out. Because the
Yeah,
crime, kind of like the other day when I was describing what I would do as far as going through the house. Did you visualize that being a friendly, stopping at every location to think about what I was about to do next? Or did you think, man, that sounds like a man on a mission?
right, right. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I remember back in the early days with Detective John, when Detective John was showing scenes of forged in fire with the guy going at that clear, gelatinous like torso with the knife. And I remember
Yeah.
thinking, "Oh, this is too much." But yeah, I agree with you. When you start looking at it and you start minimizing how awful it was and how much anger and vitriol and just how terrible it was. It's also, I think, when you also minimize that kind of thing, you also minimize what police officers go through on a daily basis. You start to see them as just having a job just like any of us. Like, "Oh, you probably had a customer yell at you." Yeah, just like being a police officer. No, this this one shot at me. This one hit me.
Right.
I had to go get stitches. This one we had to take down, and we saved a bunch of people from something. And yet, there's still a group of people that thinks we are the bad guys. So yeah, it's a whole different thing. It's funny how I guess we can imagine like hotel or not hotel ambulance workers, EMS, because we see them. We know that the stuff that they're seeing, but police officers are having to see. They go in first. They
Yes.
see the real danger. That's why it's so interesting. I remember we were doing some commercials about this whatever town it was where these EMS workers were being targeted. People would call the ambulance and say, "Come here, we need help." and they'd pull up there, and then shots are being fired. There's being shot at. It's like
right.
whoa, what the heck?
I mean, it's easy to sit behind a computer all day or every other day or however long people actually do it and critique other people's professions. How we do it every Sunday when our football teams play.
Right.
People probably have never played the game or haven't played it in so many years. They're nowhere in no kind of shape or anything else, but they believe that their expertise of what they feel and believe would have won the game had they listened to them yelling at the TV.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine how often people yell at the screen after what we say or we type? I
Right.
mean,
Yeah, it
I
is
know
very much
I noticed
very
it
simple.
during live chats. I notice it. People log off. They hear something they don't agree with. Three people leave. It's like, okay, well, I guess we got a little bit too real for you.
Right.
Here's a photo I want to show you, Jeff, and I know you've showed this photo before, but it makes me believe that they found a footprint or something right here because they're taking photos of it.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like, she's looking down, taking photos. She's looking down. I thought this was bedding at first, but it's someone in white. Or do you
Oh,
think that's
right. Yeah.
bedding? Or do you think that's bedding?
Yeah. No, it does look to me like maybe the hood of the woman with the bun on her hair that you can see in the left side window. I'm thinking that's a hood that she could put over her hair.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is. I'm wondering too. It's hard to tell from that
Oh
angle,
yeah. Oh yeah. That is. She is facing backwards. There. I see her face. You're right.
and I'm thinking like, is that like right at the top of the steps? I'm thinking that's close enough to the window, or it could be. I mean, I imagine are they trying to get pictures of the path that the killer maybe took from Xana's towards the kitchen? That kind
Yeah.
of that arc that you'd make to do that.
Yeah. I agree with you. I mean, that whole thing of all these people getting together and saying, we're going to frame this guy. Of all the people on the planet, you know how hard it is to frame somebody? It's not as easy as people think. You're just going to go to a trash can and retrieve a cup of coffee and then rub a Q-tip on it and pray to God you get some DNA. How are you going to be so experienced that you're going to get that DNA off that cup of coffee?
Yeah, and if you think about how passionate we all are trying to solve this crime, and we're just observers on the outside with some technology called YouTube and maybe its ability to play videos and pause and
Yeah,
make videos, but these are professionals. This is what they do for a living. You don't think that they're putting their reputations on what they think happened when they make statements and as they solve these things. And imagine how rewarding it is, because there's probably a lot of stuff that you just can't solve, and how frustrating that would be. And then along comes a case. It's like you start following, you know, every lead. This lead leads to that. Things are starting to make sense. And just imagine how rewarding it is to actually put it together and say, like I like to say, it's like, early on, we all thought it was one of the jacks. And law enforcement said, hold my beer. And they went to work, and they didn't arrest one of the jacks, did they?
no. See, I know this is not even going to be part of any of the stuff that's presented in court. That's why I'm talking about it right here. When I thought of Linda Lane,
Uh-huh.
I had no clue that those stairs went up that direction. I thought the stairs went the other way. Because when you're looking at that camera, those you don't see the stairs like that. It's
Well,
inverted.
now these are the stairs that are under the next building over. The stairs where the Linda
Oh,
Lane camera is further to the left, and they do go up in the opposite direction.
oh,
Um,
so this is the next building?
that's the next building over.
Okay. I thought this was 1330. My bad.
Yeah, that's whatever the building is next door to it, because that's a yeah. Because remember that there's stairs. You go up this. You just go up a couple stairs. You go in, and then if you were to hang a left, you'd go into the laundry room. Actually, I just saw a photo that you might find interesting. It actually has what is probably Kane's Frantique's wife on it. Yeah, here it is. She's because there used to be a video of an apartment tour which featured that entrance, and unfortunately, it's taken down. And I was only smart enough to capture a still picture when I had the opportunity to save the whole damn video. Why I only took a still picture, I'm kicking myself.
Oh, I
But you can
remember.
see she's walking
Yeah.
up the hill. This right here is the edge of the stairs. There's the angle of the railing to the stairs. Here's the laundry room window.
Zoom in.
I think um yeah.
Down
There
the
we go.
hill. Down the hill.
Yeah, here's the angle. Here's I think you can actually pick up maybe a little piece of the red of the well, if it is. That was where the no parking sign is hung by the top two edges. The guy comes out of the car, drops him off here. He walks up, he grabs the no parking sign from the bottom and just bangs it into the wall a couple times.
Yeah.
And then his friends walk up behind him and they're talking about told her not to park there. And that it's amazing to me, like that all makes sense to me. That seems like that's just normal conversation. If you're standing there observe or overhearing this conversation, it all makes sense. But some will hear that conversation and hear the sounds of this and they turn it into some whole different scenario. It's just
Well, didn't you
um
know there was an Aryan Brotherhood party going on that night upstairs?
oh well, that must be what it that's the answer
Because
to it all.
that's
It
where Farley was. He was looking out at he was at a party over there, and somebody
uh,
yelled out, "Farley!"
gotcha. I mean, not saying it's not impossible, but
I've
what's
been
the
a college.
reason that you
I've
go
been a
there? Is it
college. I've been a college kid at 20, 21, 19 years old. The last thing you want to do is party with a freaking meth head.
right?
Honestly, why would you allow these grown-up meth heads to be at your party? Even if you were doing meth, you wouldn't want them there. You couldn't trust them in your house.
Right.
They'd be either scoping it out to come back later and steal from you, or there'd be a lot of things missing after they left. They'd definitely be a buzzkill, bro.
Yeah.
But people paint it like it'd be a cool thing to do, like it's okay. They're, we're all gonna party together. It's not a big deal. I don't know how they roll in Moscow, but that's not how they do it around here. Crackheads, meth heads, you gotta go.
Right. Yeah.
Gang
I
members,
don't. They seem like normal kids, normal parties. I didn't see anything. It's funny because to me the parties look normal, and Brian Koberger and his bushy eyebrows and his wide staring eyes that blink every what 3 times a day maybe. That looks creepy to me. But for others, it's the other way around. Brian looks innocent and looks like he wouldn't harm a fly, and who would throw his college career away? But look at Chief Fry, and look at this person, and look at that. And
right?
that big guy's got a Coke can, and he's taking pictures of the girls at the grub truck, and it's got to be him. And whoa, okay. We clearly see things differently. But Yeah, here's a better picture of that. There you can see where the Linda Lane camera is. This is another camera that I believe is probably Kane's. I don't think we've ever seen any images from this at all, though. I don't know if it even works. But he did mention in an email that he has four cameras. So there's this one. There's
Man,
one down the street.
if that camera works, and they got some different footage.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
I think the only thing this is going to see is the hill that comes up, by the dumpster. It's not going to be pointed in the direction of Taylor, so it's not going to catch anything on Taylor. So it probably really doesn't have it. It probably offers nothing except it might help us remove. Like, I hear a sound of a car. Is that coming from in the direction of the murder house? And then you see it on that camera. He's like, oh no, it's actually coming from the other side of the building, so it's over there.
Right.
But you can see there's the parking sign that he grabs. Kane told me that he himself installed those. I don't know that I ever got complete confirmation that it was only hanging from the top edge, but I think it is. Because at first, I don't know if you're the same as me. When I watched this guy on the video and heard the sounds, and I thought, what is he slamming? Like, is it a mailbox? And I heard a lot of people, I think even Get a Clue might have said at one point that was these mailboxes.
Yeah,
And
I
he
thought it was
thought he
like a
thought he
box
was standing here, but the mailboxes were way off to the left. He was grabbing this no parking sign.
down the hill.
I think it's interesting too, is that so you hear him go up the stairs. People were saying, look, he's hiding his face. Personally, I think he's on the phone with the woman that we hear that I think comes down these stairs from inside the building. She's probably heard a little bit about one of their cars getting towed. I'm thinking maybe, who knows, maybe this guy had to foot the bill to get the car out of the impound lot. He's pissed. She's pissed. Maybe it's his girlfriend. Maybe they don't have a lot of money. And that's why you hear her voice as she's coming downstairs and she says, what's going on? Like, almost like, fill me in. What the hell happened tonight? How did somebody's car get towed? Didn't we tell him not to park in certain areas? But so I think he's on the phone with her, and then she comes downstairs, and then that's why he
So it
puts the phone
makes
away.
logic. They were just coming back from getting the vehicle after it was being towed.
Right, right. Yeah,
Down down the hill too.
they got her vehicle out. Maybe she was the one who drove them to wherever they went that night. She had to leave, and they said, "Look, just we've been through enough tonight. You just go on home. We're gonna take a Uber or ride share or whatever, and we'll just ride share at home." And then you can imagine they're coming out of the car. They're still talking about her and the fiasco with the car getting towed. So I mean, it
Right.
just
So
it
they
just makes
weren't
sense to
even
me.
part. They wouldn't. It would be my assumption that they weren't even part of anything that was going on in any part of 1122 or anywhere around there.
Right, but how many
You
people
know,
did you hear say, like, and people we know, who I'm talking about without saying her name? It's like, oh, that's Ethan. That's Ethan right there. And that's Xana. And it's like, do you really have to? You have to fit them into everything that you see. We have just a little bit of footage of something, and you
I
know,
mean the way that people document this, it's almost like all these camera images documented documented the crime. We have the grub truck. We have the little camera by the bank down there by the corner club. We got the corner club um, camera. All these cameras documented the crime.
but don't they treat it like it's the Truman Show? Like the
Yeah,
killer has said, okay, I will place a camera here to capture this image that I want them to see at this moment, and um,
it is. It's almost like you're being led by. Okay, there's these three co-eds right here. There's Jenny and Kim and Tawana, and they're walking towards Linda Lane, and you hear somebody say, "Kaylee." You just heard that, right?
right,
I,
right.
I just suggested that to you. So whether you heard it or not, you heard me say it. So you're not gonna rewind the video and be like, "Let me go see if I can hear that." You're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I heard that. I see that."
Yeah, the power of suggestion can be pretty strong. I mean, like,
Oh,
there's that Creedence Clearwater song where it's there's a bad moon on the rise, and all it took was somebody saying, "Doesn't it sound like he's saying there's a bathroom on the right?" Now, whenever I hear that song, that's all I hear is "There's a bathroom on the right,"
wow. I'm
or the
usually
Jimi Hendrix song. He's saying, "Excuse me while I kiss the sky."
right.
It sounds like he's saying, "Excuse me while I kiss this guy." You know,
Oh my god.
the power of suggestion and sounds. But
Well, Jeff, don't go anywhere. I'm gonna go ahead and end the or end the upload, and you and I can still keep talking.
okay, yeah, because I don't. I'm still clicking through photos. I think I've exhausted the ones that were applied to what we were trying to visualize. So,
All right.
but
Well,
this
here
was
we
fun. It's always good. I think it was a good idea to do this too because we often have conversations like, "Dang,
go.
we should have recorded that."
Maestro.